In the unforgiving expanse of southern Arizona Territory, where the Chihuahuan Desert met the jagged peaks of the Dragoon Mountains, Jack Harlan had staked his claim to a piece of heaven and hell intertwined. The year was 1875, and the land was still raw from the echoes of the Civil War, now overlaid with the sharper cries of Apache resistance. Jack, a veteran of Gettysburg's bloody fields, had fled west to escape the ghosts of fallen comrades and a love lost to fever. His ranch, the Double Bar H, was a modest spread, a adobe house with a wraparound porch, a barn weathered by sandblasts, and corrals holding 50 head of longhorns. The heart of it all was the spring, a crystal-clear pool fed by underground aquifers, defying the arid curse that plagued the region. Jack was a man of quiet strength, his blue eyes shaded by a wide-brimmed Stetson, his hands calloused from ropes and reins. He employed 4 hands. Old Pete, the grizzled cook who spun yarns of the California gold rush, Billy, a wide-eyed kid from Kansas with dreams of adventure, Tom, a silent Mexican vaquero skilled with a lariat, and Silas, a former buffalo hunter with a quick draw and a quicker temper. They were a ragtag crew, but loyal, bound by the harsh code of the frontier. The Apaches were the ever-present threat. Geronimo's name was whispered like a curse, his raids leaving smoking ruins and stolen livestock. The U.S. Army, stretched thin, offered little protection. Jack had clashed with Apaches before, a skirmish over water rights that left him with a scar across his ribs. He respected their tenacity, but fear kept him vigilant. It was mid-August, the heat a relentless enemy, when Jack set out to mend a fence breached by a flash flood. Rusty, his bay gelding, picked his way through the cactus-dotted terrain, the sun baking Jack's shirt to his back. As they topped a rise overlooking a dry arroyo, Jack spotted her. She was unmistakable, an Apache woman, collapsed in the scant shade of a towering saguaro. But her size. Lord, she was a giantess, easily 7 feet if she stood, her build powerful and imposing. Her buckskin dress was adorned with intricate beadwork depicting eagles and thunderbolts, and her black hair was braided with raven feathers. A bough lay beside her, arrows scattered, and her water gourd was bone-dry. Her skin was bronzed and painted with ritual markings, but her lips were cracked, her breaths ragged. Jack's first instinct was to ride on. Helping an Indian could bring a war party down on his head. But as he watched, she stirred, her eyes meeting his, fierce, unyielding, yet pleading in their desperation. Something in him broke. Dismounting, he approached cautiously, canteen in hand. "Peace," he said, using the few Apache words he knew. "Yuzin, water." She tensed, hand twitching toward a knife at her belt, but weakness held her back. Jack poured a trickle onto the ground to show it was safe, then offered it. She seized it, drinking deeply, life returning to her features with each swallow. When she finished, she handed it back, murmuring, "Haguni." Farewell, or thanks, Jack wasn't sure. He nodded, mounting up. "Get yourself home, ma'am. Desert's no place to linger." As he rode away, a chill ran down his spine despite the heat. Who was she? A wanderer? A scout? The tales of Apache giants were campfire stories, descendants of ancient warriors, blessed by the mountain spirits. Jack dismissed it, focusing on the fence ahead. That evening, the ranch was alive with the usual routines, cattle lowing, Pete clanging pots, Billy practicing his quick draw. Jack said nothing of the encounter, but sleep evaded him. Dreams came of towering figures and circling warriors, the spring running red with blood. The next morning, Jack rose before dawn, stepping out to greet the day. The eastern sky lightened, revealing a sight that stopped his heart. Encircling the ranch, as far as the eye could see, were Apache warriors, 300 strong, their ponies stamping, lances and rifles silhouetted against the rising sun. Feathers and war paint adorned them, a sea of bronze skin and determined expressions. At the center, on a magnificent black stallion, was the giant woman, now resplendent in full regalia. A headdress of eagle plumes, armor of woven yucca fibers, and a lance tipped with obsidian. Pete burst from the bunkhouse, shotgun in hand. "Boss! We're done for." Billy and the others followed, rifles cocked. Silas growled, "Let's take as many as we can." "Stand down," Jack ordered, his voice steady though his knees weakened. He walked forward, hands raised. The woman dismounted, striding toward him with the grace of a panther. Up close, her height was staggering. She loomed like a statue come to life. "You gave me water," she said in accented English, her voice a deep timbre that resonated in his chest. Jack swallowed. Seemed the right thing. "Name's Jack Harlan. I am Nate, daughter of Cochise, seer of the Chiricahua Apache." Her eyes, dark as midnight, bored into him. "I was on a vision quest, seeking guidance from the spirits. The heat overcame me, but you restored my life." Cochise's daughter? The legendary chief who had defied the army for years. Rumors spoke of Nate as a mystic warrior, her size a gift from the gods, making her a symbol of strength. "Why the show of force?" Jack asked, glancing at the warriors. Nate's expression softened. "Not to harm you, Jack Harlan. To honor you. The ancient prophecy of my people tells of a pale stranger who offers water to the giant one in her hour of need. In return, our clans are bound to protect him, and he to aid us in our time of trial." Prophecy? Jack felt the world tilt. He was no mystic, just a dirt farmer with a gun. "Ma'am, I appreciate the honor, but I ain't looking for trouble." One of Nate's lieutenants, a wiry man named Goclea, Geronimo's cousin, Jack later learned, urged his horse forward. "The bluecoats press us. Our lands shrink, our people starve. The prophecy says you will provide sanctuary." Jack weighed his options. Refuse, and they might take the ranch by force. Accept, and become an outlaw. But something in Nate's gaze stirred him, a shared humanity in this brutal land. "Come inside," he said. "Let's parley." Nate entered the house, her head brushing the beams. Over coffee and Pete's biscuits, she unfolded the tale. The Apaches were being herded onto barren reservations, their hunting ground stripped. Nate's vision had led her to Jack Spring, a sacred site in old legends. By saving her, he had invoked the bond. "In exchange for water and grazing rights, we offer alliance," she said. "Protection from raiders, trade goods, knowledge of the land." Jack pondered. His spring could support more, and Apache scouts could warn of dangers. "Deal," he said, shaking her massive hand. "But no violence from here. We're partners, not warriors." The warriors dispersed to the hills, leaving a small camp near the spring. Days turned to weeks of uneasy coexistence. Nate taught Jack herbal remedies and tracking skills, he showed her irrigation techniques. Billy idolized her, learning to throw a tomahawk. Even Silas thawed, sharing stories of buffalo hunts. But shadows loomed. Whispers reached town of Harlan's Indian lovers. Then, Billy returned from Supply Run with grim news. Sheriff Harlan, a distant cousin, ironically, was rallying a posse, backed by Captain Elias Reynolds from Fort Huachuca. Reynolds, a zealot with a grudge against Apaches, claimed Jack was aiding hostiles. "We must prepare," Nate said, her face grim. Jack devised a plan, fake a departure, then ambush the posse non-lethally to discourage pursuit. Nate's warriors set traps in the canyons, pitfalls, rockslides. The posse arrived at noon, 30 men, armed to the teeth. "Surrender the savages, Harlan." Reynolds bellowed from his mount. "Ain't none here," Jack replied, rifle ready. A shootout erupted. Bullets whizzed, men fell. Nate's arrows found marks, her roar echoing. Jack took a graze to the arm, but held the line. As the posse advanced, the traps sprung, horses tumbled into pits, rocks cascaded. Panic spread. Reynolds, unhorsed, faced Nature's tomahawk. "Mercy," he cried. Jack intervened. "Let him go. End this madness." Reynolds retreated, vowing revenge. But the defeat humbled him. Reports to superiors painted it as an Apache ambush, not Jack's doing. Peace settled, fragile but real. The ranch thrived, a bridge between worlds. Nate and Jack shared quiet evenings by the fire, forging a bond deeper than alliance. One night, under stars, Nate confessed, the prophecy spoke of love, too. Jack smiled. Maybe it did. Years later, the tale endured, a simple act of kindness that bound enemies, turning a ranch into a legend.